أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Diana Fateh, your host for today's event, and I am honored to welcome you all to our webinar, Hajj Step by Step, representing the student community of the International Open University before you. Allow me to introduce you to Sister Maimuna, Sister Afroza, and Sister Aisha, who have been kind enough for moderating the chat for us and will attend to all the queries you may post on the chat window. I would like to begin by thanking all those who have gathered here for taking the time to benefit from this session, inshallah. I encourage you to keep your pen and paper ready and do jot down the essentials of Hajj that we will be discussing today so as to make this most important journey of your life a fulfilling and accepted one, inshallah. To initiate the session, we begin with the recitation of the verses of the Holy Quran.
وأذن في الناس بالحج يأتوك رجالا وعلى كل ضامر يأتين من كل فج عميق ليشهدوا منافع لهم ويذكروا اسم الله في أيام معلومات على ما رزقهم من بهيمة الأنعام فكلوا منها وأطعموا البائس الفقير ثم ليقضوا تفثهم وليوفوا نذورهم وليطوفوا بالبيت العتيق.
The translation of which is, call all people to the pilgrimage. They will come to you on foot and on every lean camel from every distant path, so they may obtain the benefits in store for them, and pronounce the name of Allah on appointed days over the sacrificial animals He has provided for them. So eat from their meat and feed the desperately poor. Then let them groom themselves, fulfill their vows, and encircle the ancient house. Today's session offers a step-by-step discussion on Hajj, one of the most significant pillars of Islam. Whether you're planning to undertake the spiritual journey soon or looking to deepen your understanding, this session is designed to provide you with detailed guidance and valuable insights to make your Hajj experience enriching and seamless. Hajj is not just a ritual, it's a profound spiritual journey that embodies submission to Allah, unity amongst Muslims, and personal transformation. Hence, it goes without saying that our goal is to ensure you feel informed, prepared, and spiritually ready to undertake this sacred journey. In line with this, let me introduce our esteemed speaker for the day, Sheikh Dr. Anwar Sahib. Dr. Muhammad Anwar Sahib Al-Madani gained admission to Medina University at the age of 14, where after completing high school, he completed his BA in Islamic Studies as well as his Master's and PhD in Quranic Sciences. Dr. Anwar is the Imam of Masjid At-Taqwa in New Zealand as well as a founder member and the chairman of its parent body, At-Taqwa Trust. He is also the president of the Federation of Muslim Scholars of New Zealand and lectures in Islamic law at the International Open University, where he is the dean of its Islamic Studies Faculty, as well as the lecturer for Tafsir, Hadith, and Aqidah. Dr. Anwar has been invited to participate and speak in several academic conferences by Muslim scholars and organizations in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, India, Bangladesh, Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. He has also been invited to speak on national television and radio shows in Saudi Arabia and other countries. Dr. Anwar, we eagerly await for you to enlighten us on your topic for today's session. The stage is all yours.
Can you people see me?
Yes, Dr. Anwar.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تعالى: ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا. ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا. My beloved ones, those possibly here I know, and others maybe I don't. It doesn't matter. We all are here for the very same purpose. I have already said my salam, but I would love to repeat it again, once again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Al-Hajj, the pilgrimage. Whenever we say Hajj, Umrah is part of Hajj. It is one of the pillars of Islam, min arkan al-Islam. We have 5 pillars of Islam: the Shahada, the Salah, 5 times prayer, the Siyam in the month of Ramadan, the fasting, Az-Zakah, the poor due, and Al-Hajj. When it comes to Al-Hajj, it is specifically in one place, that is in Makkah. And it only can happen once a year in the month of Zulhijjah. It has its precise, specific, custom-tailored rituals which we have to do. We cannot in one session take everything. However, you will be given the opportunity to ask anything related to Hajj and Umrah. And bi'idhnillah, if Allah gives me tawfiq, I will answer. Of course, questions related to Aqidah, fiqh, or anything related to the academic side. Not of anything which has got nothing to do with me, such as why these many people, they come for Hajj, should not the number increase and decrease or whatever. That's not with me. It's not my speciality, barakallahu fiqh. That is related to governments. Al-Hajj, as I said, is a pillar of Islam. It was mandated in the 9th year of Hijrah, based on the best view. 9th year of Hijrah. Why this much of delay? The best answer is because Makkah was not in the hands of the Muslims by then. Hajj, before that, Makkah was conquered in the 8th year of Hijrah in the month of Ramadan, as you remember, mashallah. Yes. So you see now the doors of Makkah has been opened for the Muslims without any restrictions. Remember Umratul Qada, Sulhul Hudaybiyah, where Rasulullah ﷺ, he could not enter Makkah. Now that door is opened. So Allah Azza wa Jalla mandated Al-Hajj in the 9th year. When it became mandated, still Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not go for Hajj. Amongst the reasons being mentioned is that because al-mushrikun would be coming for Hajj. And in the duration of Hajj, you know, there were many things which were not what it was supposed to be, such as doing Umrah, Tawaf without clothes. So notice needed to be delivered to them that from next year, no one is allowed to perform Hajj unless he is a believer, not a disbeliever. And for that, Abu Bakr and Ali, they went, and many Sahabas, they went. Now, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam performed the Hajj in the 10th year of Hijrah. And if you remember, after he came back from Hajj, that's in the month of Zulhijjah, after he performed, came back, Muharram, Safar, Na'am, Rabi al-Awwal. He died in Rabi al-Awwal, just months after performing the Hajj. The details of his performance can be found in many evidences. Some in the verses which he executed. Further details in the hadith. And perhaps the most detailed hadith is the hadith of Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu fi Sahih Muslim. It does not include everything, but in one hadith, that is where the maximum is. What I will do with you people today, I will try my best to explain with simplicity what you are going to do for Hajj, step by step by step. Then there will be lots and lots and lots of questions created because of that. That's why when my sisters, they mentioned they have a pen and paper ready. Yes, please do so. So when you get the opportunity to ask, you will do that. Now, Al-Hajj, we know it starts from the miqat. There are 5 known miqats. We know whether it's Zul Hulayfa for Medina or Yalamlam or few other places. It does not matter. What matters is whenever you are going to come for Hajj, you have to make sure that you make the intention at the place of miqat. More practical, if you are coming by plane and going direct to Makkah from Jeddah, make sure that at the point where the captain or the air hostess will announce that we are about to get to the miqat, make sure you do the intention before then. If you have issues and you may miss out or have doubts, then make sure you make the intention before. Another tip here is that related to the clothes, which is now you are going to get ready for Ihram, right? So let us talk about the clothing part before the miqat part. As far as clothes are concerned, for a man, it's simple 2 wraps, like a towel, but bigger. Ihram, everybody knows, white. Mostly it's white. It can be other colors, but white is preferred for men. Make sure that you buy something which is big so that your body is well covered with it, not a small, stingy type of thing, unless you can't find any. Make sure it is a little bit thick, especially the lower garment one, to have a more appropriate covering of yourself. Ihram, you wear like, at the bottom and one on top. You do not reveal your right hand. That is only at the time of tawaf, the first 3. Once you wear your ihram, before wearing or even after you wear, you are yet to make your intention, right? So you can apply perfume, cream, whatever on your body. Not on the clothes. Something may stick on the clothes, but it is on your body. The sunnah is before that you have your shower. It's not a requirement, but it is the sunnah very much recommended to do. In our cases, most of the time, unless you are going from Medina, it will be we are traveling by a plane. While you wear this, if you want to wear your t-shirt so that traveling is easy, and then just before Ihram, you just take off your t-shirt to make the intention. No problem on that. Make sure that you take off any extra clothing. This is for men before you make the intention. That's all. It is best to wear at the airport or from the hotel. Do not wait till the time comes and then you try to wear your ihram in the plane. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't look friendly. It, in fact, is not a very good scene you are presenting because there is family there, men there, women there, and everyone there. So you do it in the hotel or in the airport. That is better. Barakallah fiqh. Now you are in ihram, you are well ready for intention. For sisters, they can wear anything. Islamic code of dressing. The only restriction is the gloves, no gloves, and al-burqa, that piece of cloth which you design specifically for your face. If you are covering, which you should, then you cover it with the something which is not that burqa, like a big veil. You can cover it with it or something, or a separate veil. If you find it difficult to cover it with a long veil, some they do, and you need to use the same burqa, niqab, you are allowed to do that, but you will have to pay fidya, the penalty for that, which is either fast 3 days or feed 6 miskin, or sacrifice an animal for Ahlu Makkah. Now you are wearing clothes for men. As I said, what it is, you are not allowed to cover your face or your head, and clothing, part of that is your shoes. It has to be sandals or not normal slippers, not anything which covers your back part of your feet or your ankles. For women, it is okay. Their restriction, I said, is gloves and the face. Now you are making intention. You are doing the intention near. If it is only Umrah, say because Hajj is 3 types, Tamattu' al-Ifrad al-Qiran. Al-Ifrad is where you are only doing Hajj and no Umrah. Tamattu' is where you are doing Hajj. In Umrah, once you finish your Umrah, you are going to become normal out of Ihram. Then you are going to proceed with the Niyyah for Hajj on the day of Hajj, that is Yawm al-Tarwiyah, Yawm al-Mina, and that's the 8th. Or when you combine between Umrah and Hajj, al-Qiran. Now, at the time of the intention, if you are going to do only Umrah and then Hajj later on, you make the intention, say it loudly, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik laka umratan. If you fear some issues, health conditions or safety conditions or anything else, and then you can put the shart there, the condition that if I'm not able to complete it, then I will get out of it wherever it is. This is something very important to make sure that you make that as part of your intention if you know that that may happen, right? Now, after that, you do talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. You know why I said this? It gives me that vibes, and I'm sure that it gives you also, that you feel, I don't know, you feel so good, isn't it? When listening to it, yes. So I wanted you to feel that vibe. And my first experience was when I was 14 years old, when I went to study in Medina. And then I went for Umrah and then Hajj in that same particular year. Ooh. You know, Allahu Akbar. It was so good.
Apologies. I think
And
we
so
have
I'm back here. I got disconnected.
no issues, Sheikh. You can continue
Okay,
now.
right. Okay. So once you arrive in Makkah, you are supposed to do Umrah as soon as possible. So the first thing you do is, whichever arrangements are, you are going to go to Al-Haram al-Makki, and then Talbiyah finishes there at the Kaaba. You are going to start with the Tawaf. The Tawaf always starts at the Hajar al-Aswad, the black stone. At the place of the black stone, just hold on, yes. At the place of the black stone, if you are able to touch it, encase it directly, that's best. If not, then touch it, encase it, alhamdulillah. If not, then from wherever you are, if there is something to point with, or else your hand, and that's it. Allahu Akbar, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and then you start your tawaf 7 times. Circumambulation of the Kaaba in the first 3 rounds to be a bit faster, but that's not possible most of the time, especially in Hajj. You remember, for men, the clothes, the right hand will be out at this time. There is no specific dua apart from the maqam al-Rukn al-Yamani to al-Hajr al-Aswad, where you say Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Apart from that, any dua you want to make. Apart from that, also anything else you want to make dua, you want to do azkar, you want to read Quran, fine with everything. You go with it. Rukn al-Yamani is not like al-Hajr al-Aswad, where you touch al-Hajr al-Aswad, or if you cannot then point. You don't point at the place of Rukn al-Yamani. Yes, this is something which is very important. Touching it is different. If you are able to touch it, fine, alhamdulillah. Now, once you finish the tawaf, then you go and pray at the Maqam Ibrahim with Surah Al-Kafirun and Qul Huwallah in the second rak'ah. If you are not able to pray in that place, wherever it's possible. Now, touching Al-Hajr al-Aswad, things like these, many of these things are extras. You may not be able to, in most cases, people are not able to. Don't go and force yourself to get it done, because you are going to cause a lot of distress to others in order to do it. Very important it is that wudu is a requirement for tawaf, and of course for the prayers. But for sa'i between Safa and Marwa, if you are on tahara, that is better. Now, inside Haram, they have created places where if your wudu breaks, you can just do wudu. For toilet, you have to go outside. These things are a bit new. It wasn't before. So you have facilities because you don't have to work another half an hour and go out and do your wudu and come back. And especially with so much of construction work going around, it's very confusing there. And a lot of effort needs to be done before you are able to come in or go out. Now, after you finish your rak'atayn and you drink ma'a zamzam, then you go to Safa Marwa. Safa Marwa, 7 rounds again. Safa to Marwa 1, Marwa to Safa 2, and like this. You recite the Quran in the Safa wal Marwa min sha'airillah ila akhir al-ayah. And of course, you make dua. And part of the dua is La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamd, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. And then, of course, you proceed further if you are able to, of course. La ilaha illallah wahda, anjaza wa'da, nasara abda, wa hazama al-ahzaba wahda. This is while facing the Qibla, and you make the dua from the Mount of Safa 1 time once you finish, and then you again do the same process. La ilaha Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah ila akhiri. And then you make the dua and finish it up. And then for the 3rd time, you start with Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah ila akhiri. And then with that, you don't make dua. You proceed towards Marwa. And you repeat the same in Marwa. Like this 6 times. On the 7th, when you arrive in Marwa, you finish it, then you don't repeat the process of the dua. Doing the dua for the 1st time, 2nd time, and then the last week you proceed. This is the perfection of the Sunnah. You don't need to stand on Safa or Marwa for this long and make dua, which if you can, it is better. Or else while being on the move, as you know that the difficulties of the crowd and the moment where you stand up there may not be appropriate due to the difficulties, or you are not able to cope with it, and you just proceed by walking from here to there and making dua. That should be enough, inshallah. Barakallah fikum. After you finish that, then for men, it is better to either shave the head or to trim it. It is better to trim it if you are very near to Hajj. For sisters, Qadr al-Usbu'. Qadr al-Usbu' is just about 1 centimeter from the 2 sides of the braids or from all the corners to be taken from the bottom. It's not that a few here, no. Here and there, no, it has to be properly taken out. After that, you are finished with the Umrah. Now you are waiting for Hajj, which will start on the 8th day. On this particular 8th day, Yawm al-Tarwiyah, remember, I'm going to give you the perfect way in a little bit here and there, and then with questions, I will clarify it. Say, for example, the Yawm Mina is Friday, for example, which looks like the case this time, possibly, Allahu Alam, or Saturday, say Saturday. So in the morning, you get dressed and all this, exactly like the Umrah part. Then you travel to Mina, where you pray Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha, and Fajr. Zuhr, Asr, and Isha will be Qasr, 2-2-2, but praying each prayer in its time. After Salatul Fajr, in a bit of time, you are going to proceed. That's on the 9th day, Yawm Arafah, to go to Arafah, where you will spend the rest of the day. When the time comes, of course, if you are able to go and stay in the masjid and listen to the khutbah, it is great. But if not, if you are not able to go to Masjid Namira, then khutbah can be heard from many places. Important thing is that you stay within the boundary of Arafah ila ghurub shams, till the sunset. You have to be there. Only after you proceed to Muzdalifah, in the duration of Arafah, Al-Hajj Arafah. Arafah is one of the pillars of Hajj. We have very important pillars are always important. The first one is the intention. The second one is Al-Wuquf bi-Arafah. And then, of course, At-Tawaf al-Sa'i, what is known as Tawaf al-Hajj and Sa'i al-Hajj. These are the essential parts of Hajj. Without that, Hajj is incomplete. So you are in Arafah now. From the time of Zohar especially, once you pray your Zohar 2 and Asr 2 together, combined, now you focus on making dua as much as possible. The best is La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika la, lahul mulku wa lahul hamd, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. But that's not the only thing you are supposed to be doing. Making dua as much as possible. Combining it with recitation of Quran, azkar, meaning that if you are able to do one thing continuously, mashallah, not everybody has that amount of energy to stand up for hours and do the same thing. So you can combine between this. Remember, I'm only giving fiqh issues. I'm not saying that you don't eat too much, these are the food to eat. If you ask, I will tell you, but these tips can be given by others. Here in this time, we are talking about fiqh masail related to the academic side of it. Barakallahu fikum. Then with this sunset, and then you don't pray Maghrib and Isha there in Arafah, you proceed to Muzdalifah, which is quite a bit of distance. Once you arrive in Muzdalifah, that is when you offer your Maghrib or Isha. Maghrib 3 and Isha 2, and you may pray your witr instantly after. In Muzdalifah, you rest till Salatul Fajr, then you pray your Fajr, and then you make dua in the Mash'ar. And Mash'ar is the place of the masjid itself in Muzdalifah or anywhere in Muzdalifah. For your Maghrib and Isha, just in case you get very delayed and half the night is gone, or is going to go before you arrive to Muzdalifah, then pray wherever you are. Even if you have not yet even started from Arafah because of whatever reasons you couldn't get out of Arafah, your Maghrib and Isha time is about to finish, that's half the night, you pray there and then proceed. It's not that you only pray it once you arrive in Muzdalifah, even if you are late. No, it's not like that. In Muzdalifah, people are, remember, in Arafah, you are not allowed to get out from before sunset. But now you are in Muzdalifah, Ashabul Azar, those who have got reasons those who are very elderly people, sickly people, women folk with them, or children. And then you want them to, they can't stay in Muzdalifah, sorry, for too long, for whatever reasons. In this case, what you do is you are allowed to go out of Muzdalifah a bit earlier. And that would mean, especially after 2/3 of the night, some they even allow it before, to go and proceed further to Mina, and for the rest stay till you pray your Fajr and then go to Mina. There you are going to go and throw the stone on the big Jamara 7 times. As you know, getting the stones, if you find it in Mina, fine. If not, then from wherever, it's okay. Don't make it too big. It's probably a little bit bigger than a chickpea, just a little bit bigger, not too big. Then you throw the stones, of course. When you are throwing the stone, you are going to face the Jamara. On your left will be Kaaba, and on your right will be Mina. And then you throw the stone, and then come back, of course. After throwing the stone, you will either make your hair shorter or shave it. Then you are going to have shower, clean yourself. The restriction will be lifted. Many restrictions, I will mention it. And if you have to do udhiyah by yourself, then you go and do it. If not, then whomever you have paid, they will do it on your behalf. Now you have thrown the stone, you have taken care of your hair, and now you have taken your shower and cleaned and become fresh. Here, everything which was haram because of ihram becomes halal except your wife, your husband. The rest of the restrictions is lifted. Now you proceed to Mecca to do your tawaf and hajj of Hajj. Tawaf and sa'i for Hajj. This, once you accomplish, even your wife, your husband becomes halal for you. Then you come back to Mina to spend that night, the first night, and then the second night. And for those who complete the Hajj with 6 days, the 3rd night. Those who stay in Mina for 3 nights, they are going to throw a stone 4 days. Those who will spend the night 2 nights only want to spend, they are throwing stones on 3 days. Yawm al-Eid only on the big. Then the next 2 days or 3 on the small, then the medium one, and then the big one. So when you throw the stone, you face the stone side and throw on it, then move towards the right, make dua facing the Qibla, then you go to throw the stone on a little bit on the left to the Jamarat al-Wusta, and then you proceed further to go and throw the stone on the big one after you make dua. After you throw the stone on the big one, you don't make dua. That's it, finished. Like this, you repeat for the rest of the days. The time for throwing the stone starts from Zawal, from the beginning of the time of Fajr. Astaghfirullah, Az-Zuhr. For the first one, that's the Yawm al-Eid, it starts from morning. Then you spend your night, which is wajib in Mina, praying qasran min ghayri jam'. You will still do qasr, but do not combine. Then you further yourself. Once you finish your last ritual of Hajj in Mina, then you are going to naturally move out to Makkah or wherever your residence would be. Nothing is left of you except Tawaf al-Wida', farewell Tawaf, when you move out of Makkah. Now remember, this Tawaf al-wida', this tawaf of Hajj in Sa'i, which is a rukun, a pillar. If for any reason you did not do it in the days of Hajj, you are allowed to delay it till you get out from Mina, and then you may proceed and do it also. So this is something very important. Barakallahu fikum, and this is a simple way, simple explanation of how to do Umrah and how to do Hajj. There are so many things which I have not discussed intentionally, because I would love it to come through questions and answers. Barakallahu fikum. So now you have got all this time for questions, and I will do my best, inshallah, to answer it for you. Wa jazakumullah khairan. So let's proceed with the questions and answers.
Jazakallahu khairan kasiran, Shaykh. It was indeed a very beneficial session. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from you. Okay, we do have a couple of questions, Shaykh, if you would like to answer them.
Yes, please.
Okay, the first question is, a sister asks, can we take the train from Arafah to Muzdalifah, or we need to walk?
You can go from Muzdalifah to Arafah, from Arafah to Muzdalifah, from Mina to Muzdalifah, from Muzdalifah to Mina, from anywhere when you have to travel, you can take any means of transportation. You don't need to walk anywhere. Apart from the Tawaf place and the Sa'i place, and even that, if you are not able to walk, you may use the facilities provided there. So it's not a requirement that you actually need to walk. So any facilities is fine. Jazakumullah khairan.
Yeah, Shaykh. There is another question where the sister asks, is it all right if we can wear the mask during Ihram? That is for the ladies.
Mask has got its issues, but due to the current situations, which has developed this kind of pandemic, then if you are wearing mask for a reason, then it is okay, inshallah. Though some scholars, they say you have to give fidya, but it is something which is needed. Barakallahu fikum.
Okay, thank you so much, Sheikh. That was all from the audience's end. May Allah accept the session and the effort. Assalamu alaikum.
That's all.
Yeah, we had only a couple of questions from the audience's end.
Okay, so what about you? You're not asking anything. Let me ask you then.
Sure, Sheikh, please go ahead.
No, the reason I made this so short is so that I leave it to the brothers and sisters, if they are interested in asking questions. Let me create some form of curiosity. What about if someone uses perfume? What about if someone is using sabun, soap with perfume? What about if someone uses the spray in the atmosphere and it is in the duration of Hajj? What about if you need to apply some cream on yourself because it is a medical cream and you need it? What about that, whether it is allowed or not? What about eating food which has got a bit of a smell in it, perfumed smell in the food? What about the place where you are? They spray on the wall or something like that and you are in the room. What about using an umbrella? What about you cannot use an umbrella because you are short and you need to put something on your head as a man? If you are bald, for example, are you allowed to use that? Because you cannot use umbrella, you will be harming others. Is it possible or not? What about the shoes? What about wearing underwears for men if they need it for any reason? What about those brothers who have got problems with urination if they don't wear underwears or something? Or what are the leeways for that? How much, there are millions of questions, mashallah. What about if you throw the stone on the second day before Zawal? What are you supposed to do? What about if you could not throw the stone on the second day? Can I throw it combined with the third day one? MashaAllah. What about I wanted to go out on the second night after throwing the third day, and then I was preparing to go and sunset happened in Mina. Am I supposed to come back to Mina and stay because I couldn't go out, come back to the camp, or still I can proceed further? What about if I was throwing the stone and one of the stones went out? You see, heaps of questions,
Yes.
mashallah.
Yes, we are getting a couple of more questions. So, if you would allow me, Sheikh, I would like to
Yes.
continue with them. Yes. So
Uh-huh.
the first, so another question that we received is for the 8th, 11th, 12th, 13th, how much time should I spend in Mina if my accommodation is outside?
Um, if your accommodation is outside and it is not on the border of Mina, if it is on the border of Mina, attached to it, and there is no facilities from your home, sorry, from Mina to the place where you are, then you have to come back and spend the night in Mina. First of all, the facilities at present is that you have, it is a requirement for you to have a place in Mina. And that's the way things are. But for Ahlul Makkah, it is different, right? So we still know that Ahlul Makkah, it's not a requirement. For them, how many hours do they need to spend in the territory of Mina for the night? Not for the first one, Yom Tarwiyah, that is before Yom Arafah. That one, it's not wajib, so it is okay. But the one which is from the Eid day and the rest, so scholars they differ. It will be at least till midnight, and some may say up to 2:30. So at least few hours of the night you need to spend in Mina. And few hours is not very difficult, inshallah. Barakallah fikum.
Inshallah.
Hmm.
Jazakallahu khair, Sheikh. Another question we received is, can we change the sequence of the arkan? Means if we go from Muzdalifah and then go to Haram to do Tawaful Ifaza, Sa'i.
For these rituals, al-jamrat, al-tawaf was-sa'i, al-udhiyah, and shaving your head. These ones, scholars have allowed for you to bring forth in delay. So for someone who thinks that, okay, people are all focused in Jamarat, let me go and finish my tawaf and sa'i, and then I come back to throw the stones, and then, do the rest of the rituals. That's fine. If al wala haraj kama qala sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when the scenario was presented to him sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, do, it's okay. So that's what we take as a position. Barakallahu fikum.
Yes, that should answer the question. Um, Another question we received is, can we perform tamattu if we reach Makkah on the 8th of Zulhajj?
Yes, you can do that. It will be a bit of rush, but you can, which means that you do your umrah and then get out of the ihram, even if it is for few minutes. It's easy to get out of ihram. Once you've done the rituals with the intention, all you do is you wear some normal clothes. You do something which are not allowed to do in ihram, such as cover your head with a cap or something like this, and that's it. You have this intention and everything, and you did something to break it, and then after that, rewear yourself, refresh yourself if you want, and then proceed to Mina. And that's it. So you can do your tamattu still. Barakallah fikum.
Jazakallahu khair. Another question that I would like to ask is, what is the ruling on using fragrance-free sunscreen? Sunscreen, the
Fragrance?
which fragrance-free sunscreen, the creams which we usually use for protection from the sun.
Yes. Sunscreen, if it has got fragrance in it, um, scholars they differ medication with fragrance in it. It's not only sunscreen is one of them. The more common one is where skin chapping happens, and especially it is quite obvious for brothers because not wearing every underwears and stuff. So if you have to use any of these, whether it's a sunscreen or other kinds of forms of creams and stuffs, and if it does not have fragrance to it, then it is alhamdulillah easy. But if it does, then here the scholars have differed between what you are using is not for the purpose of fragrance, but for the purpose of medication, then you don't have to do anything. Whereas the other view is absolutely you are allowed to use it, but you will have to give fidya because of the fragrance in it. So this is the safer of the two, but it does not mean this is more accurate. If you decide that, okay, I will give the fidya, then it is either to fast 3 days, feed 6 miskin, which is equivalent to 1.5 kg of rice. There are organizations in Makkah who will take on your behalf cash, and they will, inshallah, pay, give it to the poor, the food. Barakallah fikum. So that's the next option. And then the third is, of course, to sacrifice an animal, which is more expensive.
Jazakallahu khair. The sister who had asked regarding the Mina issue, she asks again, what about if we are at the borders of Mina? Which rulings apply?
If you are at the borders of Mina, it's really a border, and it says Mina finishes and you are there. So if your dwelling is there, your house and things are there, then you know that because Mina has got all full and that's the only place where you got, then it should suffice and be enough. But if you are not comfortable because it may be a bit of a distance, a few hundred meters away, or it is not exactly, there are so many houses between you and still Mina, then in this case, it is better to get in the border of Mina to spend those few hours there.
Okay, that should make it clear. The next question we have received is, some people go to do many Umrah during Hajj. Is it sunnah or acceptable?
Especially the local scholars, they do not encourage this for various reasons. One is overcrowding, and the main reason, one of the reasons is overcrowding and making it difficult on the rest of the Hujjaj. And also there is no hadith, no evidence for that the Sahabas and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of course, first they used to do this. So the sunnah is that in one journey to do one umrah, one tawaf, whatever. However, if someone is doing it, we cannot say you are not allowed to. Then there is another point very important to understand here. If you are a local, say coming from Jeddah, Yambo, Taif, Medina, I would say fine for these people, put the restriction on them. But someone coming from Straits of Russia, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and many other countries, some of them, they sold everything they had in order to come for this one particular journey, lifetime journey, really. And he is there and he is almost certain he won't be able to come back again. He's 60, 70 years old. And you say to him, you just do one umrah and that's it. You are not allowed any more further. This is not really very fair on that person. So absolutely, bi'idhnillah, it will be allowed, especially for these kind of individuals. Wa barakallahu fikum. Yesterday a clip came and I just saw an African brother. He must have been 70 plus, and the person who was doing interview, and he asked him about coming to Mecca, and he said that this is the first time I'm coming. He's very old. It was quite obvious. And he said, I sold my house so that I could afford the expenses to come to Makkah, subhanAllah. And then this brother was asking him, do you have family? He said, no, my wife, she died a while ago and I don't have any children. I had a wife, but Allah didn't give me any children. So I have no one back home. And he sold his house in order to just come to Makkah. And if you tell him that you need to come back again to do another Umrah, of course it's not possible. SubhanAllah, and that made me feel the ni'mah of Allah, the blessing of Allah on me and many others. We had the opportunity to have this multiple times done, multiple times to take visa and travel. And yet brothers like him, they sold whatever they had just to make that one trip. SubhanAllah. Allahu Akbar. Yes, please.
Indeed, Sheikh, something to ponder upon. Moving on, we have a couple of more questions, if you would allow me.
Yes, please.
Yes. So a sister asks, can you please throw light on what can we do if you're not able to throw stones on the 12th of Zilhajj?
If you are not able to throw stones?
Yes.
Yeah, if there is any valid reason, whatever it could be, which includes being a woman at many times due to the difficulties there, It could be fragile because you are old or because you have some medical conditions, or it could be some medical conditions but temporary. Um, in any of these kind of cases, or whatever it is that you are not throwing it by yourself, you have to give it to someone else to throw it on your behalf. You have to. It is wajib for it to be thrown.
Thank you, Sheikh, for answering that. Another question we have received, a lot of, I guess, a lot of the audience have been encouraged by you for asking more questions. So another question we have received is regarding men wearing mask for protection. Is it allowed?
As I said, that scholars have differed. One of the fatwa of Sheikh Baz is that if you wear it, you wear it, but you have to give fidya. But due to the modern circumstances and the scenarios, is that scholars have started to differ if you wear a mask, whether you have to give fidya or not, because it is part of the medication. It's like a medication. Barakallahu fikum.
Yeah, Sheikh. And the last question which we have with us is, some people also say that toothpaste should also be free from any fragrance. But doesn't it also come into the same medication category of using a fragrance medicated sunscreen fidya required?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. So some people also say that toothpaste should also be free from any fragrance. But doesn't it also come into the same medication category of using a fragranced medicated sunscreen? Is fidya required for this?
Toothpaste is where you have that flavor in it to make yourself more clean. If you really go and see the miswak, like the one in Medina, it has its own flavor. If someone gives you and closes your eyes and says to chew it, you'll be able to say this is something like this. So there is a flavor in it, but it's not perfume like tea and toothpaste is like that also. So from here, people will differ between whether to give fidya on it or not. But the sound view is no, you don't have to. And I said also for the sunscreen. Scholars have differed because it is used as a medication. And normally, I don't know. I have used quite a bit of sunscreen myself, especially when I go out in the field to play soccer. Because in New Zealand, the sun is quite different. While I was in Saudi, I don't remember ever using those kind of things. So I don't recall there is something which has got really that kind of a smell which looks like a perfume. It's very simple and humble kind of a smell coming out. So you should be okay with that, inshallah. But then maybe in certain regions there are products which has got a big amount of perfume. Wallahu alam.
All right. Moving on to our last question for today. While doing ghusl before wearing ihram, can we use perfumed soap and apply perfume and wear ihram?
Yes, you can use perfume soap, you can use perfume shampoo, you can apply perfume while you are wearing ihram before intention. This is for men, for sisters, similar applies, but not the perfumes which will have that kind of a smell where a man can smell from so much of distance. So the sisters have to be more careful. They have used their soap, simple soaps, not a strong smelling one. And then a simple armpit and whatever it is, not something which is very strong, but something which just does the job. So I'm pretty sure sisters, they know this kind of product. So you are allowed to use perfume things, but at home. So if you have to do your shower and be clean and you are going out for your umrah, whatever, then you have to use products which is not extremely active, but something which does the job without really getting that much of perfume out. So this is what you are allowed to use. Wa barakallahu fikum. Na'am.
Barakallahu Feek, Sheikh. That was indeed a beneficial session. We got a lot of inquiries, a lot of queries, and all of them have been answered well enough. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for your efforts, Sheikh, and thank you for giving us your precious time. We will be looking forward for many more sessions with you, inshallah.
Inshallah, Jazakumullah khairan wa barakallahu feekum. May Allah give you all the best of this dunya and hereafter. May Allah be pleased with you and take you to Jannah. Ameen. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم انصر أهل فلسطين، اللهم انصرهم عاجلا غير عاجل يا رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. With this, I would like to thank you all immensely for participating on our today's event, Hajj Step by Step. I hope that you have found it informative and beneficial. For inquiries related to the IOU, please do not hesitate to contact the IOU help desk at info@iou.edu.gm for any assistance to make your process seamless and easy. We ask Allah to illuminate our hearts with the desire to learn His deen and embark on a journey of knowledge with sincerity, consistency, and noble intentions. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu